Welcome to our special 48th episode of Black Dance Stories. Here's a note about why we are here again. Our dance world was pummeled by COVID-19, and Black dance artists are finding ways to talk about life during this time. Our world was further turned upside down after horrible events ensued nationally and globally, bringing attention yet again to the need for the Black Lives Matter movement. Black dance artists have not been quiet since. Black dance artists have been doing the work. Black dance artists continue to make work. To stay involved, we hold these impromptu discussions and tell stories. Black dance stories. This is one action, and as we promise, we stay involved. We are a community working together to support, uphold, highlight, and celebrate Black creatives. Tonight is our 48th episode of what we hope will be received, cherished, and set down as necessary Black dance stories told in the artist's own voices. Tonight, it's Maleek Washington and Tamisha Guy's turn. Please meet some of our very large BDS family. I am Charmaine Warren. I am a non-disabled, light-skinned Jamaican Black woman. I am the great-granddaughter of Ida Boyd, granddaughter of Solomon Golson and Ruby Chapman, and one of 9 children by Theophilus Warren and my 95-year-old mother, Pearline Warren, who lives in Jamaica. I am the aunt and grand aunt of 25 plus nieces and nephews at last count. Now and forever, I promise to acknowledge those who came before me and have toiled to make it possible for me to be present on this land. Today, I pay homage to the Native people by acknowledging that I live on the stolen land of the indigenous Lenape people, now known as Montclair, New Jersey, with my husband, photographer and graphic artist, Tony Turner. Our daughter, Ashay Turner, a Black ballerina with locks, is in her final year at Boston Conservatory. I have locks that fall to my shoulders. I'm wearing a rust long sleeve blouse and hoop earrings wrapped in an African print. Behind me are photos of our family, a large plant, a lamp, and African masks. Happy Black Dance Stories, BDS family, we have missed you. I am here with my BDS family because of my love for dance as a performer and because of all the gifts I've received and will always share. Thank you for your commitment to our community. Like the International Association of Blacks in Dance, IABD, we would not be here without you. Tonight's special episode is in association with IABD and that crew: Denise Saunders Thompson, Omar Ingram, Tiffany Pittman, and Taran Moore. I turn it over to Kimani.
Thank you, Charmaine. It feels so good to be back. Happy 48. Welcome, y'all. This feels so good to say this. In the words of Gloria Grimes, delicious, delightful dancing night. We are back. The importance of acknowledging our familial and dance legacies is an essential tradition. And in keeping with this tradition, I recognize my Indigenous sisters and brothers as a first step in moving toward action. With profound respect, I honor and acknowledge the Lenape, whose stolen land I am zooming from in Madison, New Jersey. I am a Black, able-bodied woman, and I live with my 10-year-old son in New York City. I am sitting in my office surrounded by art, tea, dance, books, a doll of Peter from the Snowy Day, Black memorabilia, photographs of my dance students' family, and the iconic A Great Day in Harlem. I am wearing a Henley collared white linen shirt with Tahitian silver hoop earrings in my ears and golden natural close crop curls donning my dome. I am the granddaughter of Lucille and Melvin Madison and Gwendolyn I. Allen and Simeon Fowlin. I am the daughter of Ronald Augustus Fowlin, Jamaican warrior and gourmet chef, and Anne Fowlin, rebel and Renaissance woman. I dance because of them all. My son Tamayo, visual artist and poet, keeps me present as I witness his growing, beautiful boy. I am in awe of his amazing talents and his blossoming spirit. And with that blossoming spirit, I turn it over to Maki.
Thank you, Mama Kimani. Hello, Black Dance Stories family. It is so great to be here again. My name is Makeda Lily. My full name is Makeda Lily and Wabunkosi Margie Rose Roni Love. I am a fourth generation life, body, soul alchemist, translating ethereal matter into languages of dance, movement, art, and any other language my soul is called to channel and express love, inner power, vibrancy, and truth. I am in this human experience as an able-bodied Black Indigenous American woman, pronouns she, her, hers, and they, as I am all of my ancestors and spirit team, and they are all me. I've come through a long generational line of artists and energetic intuitives, both on my maternal and paternal lines, the Love Roni lines, which extend out through so many amazing, powerful people, artists, legacies, and ancestors that I send my love and gratitude to every day as I move through the world as an extension of them and them an extension of me. Most immediately, I am the daughter of Nia Love and Antoine Roni, sister of Kojo Roni, Zipporah Roni, and Turquoise Love, a family of beautiful, dope, powerful artists. I am live from a part of the Muncie Lenape lands, now we know as Harlem, New York. I am sitting in my living room. Behind me is a white wall and a bookshelf with speakers and other things. I have a plant next to me. I am wearing a striped white and blue blouse with also a gray tube top. My hair is natural curls down to my shoulders. And I am also wearing a necklace that is rose gold. So community is such a big part of Black Dance Stories. And we want to know who's watching tonight. So like this video, drop some comments in the chat, say hi, where you're watching from. Feel free to engage, ask questions, and share love throughout this conversation, discussion. Yes. Also, please follow us on our socials. Instagram is @Black Dance Stories. Our Twitter is @BLK Dance Stories. Both of these links are in the description of this video, as well as our links to our newsletter and our Patreon. Most importantly, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Although we have reached our goal of 1,000 subscribers, yay. We're still committed to the continual growth of this amazing community we have built together. So please continue to share us with your community, your loved ones, colleagues, students, whoever you feel will really connect and or benefit to this with this content that we are holding space for, which I feel is everyone. So these are all ways to stay in connection with BDS and all the awesome things that we are brewing. And y'all, we are brewing some really awesome things. So follow us and subscribe because you won't want to miss out. And without further ado, everyone grab yourself some wine, some tea, whatever your cup of happy is. And let's cheers to Black Dance Stories.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. And I pass it to Mama Kimani.
Well, I just want to say, everybody, that not only do we have BDS here, the beautiful family that you see on screen, but we have some names that I would quickly like to say to honor our family behind the scenes that get us ready to share with you. We have Cynthia Tate, our publicist, Renee Redding Jones, Director of Finance and Development, Makeda Smith, Director of Digital Media, Tony Turner, Graphic Designer, Gabe Decoladenu, Web Designer, Trayvon Evans, Video Tech, Nishan, Caitlin Chandler, Video Technician Emeritus, Antonio Burkett, ASL interpreter who has the most beautiful interpreters that you see on screen with us, and Fanta Radi, our intern. Amazing people, so thank you. And I also want to say, as always, our BDS team will continue to stand in solidarity with our sisters and brothers all over the world, with all those who want an immediate end to racial violence and systemic racism. Thank you. And with that, I turn it over to Charmaine.
I got it. More than anything else, we want to make sure that we don't forget that we are still a part of 2 pandemics. And to lift each other up, we have to stay connected and support each other. Our Black dance community and beyond, as Kimani said, all of our sisters and brothers. Stay strong, folks, stay strong.
Yes.
All right, Kimani and Maki are gonna leave us for a little bit. They're not gone for too long. And bringing in Maleek Washington. Hot dang. Are you there? Maleek.
Hello, hello, hello.
Cheers, my young son.
Cheers.
Who says he rides? Wait, you can't cheers and not take a sip. Take a sip. Who
There you
says
go.
he rides old school and new school? Not so much, but I'm gonna leave that there.
See?
I'm gonna let
Okay.
you introduce yourself to the people. They're here for you.
Hello, Black Dance Stories. Thank you for having me. My name is Malik Washington, a non-disabled Afro-American man. My pronouns are he, him, coming from the stolen land of indigenous people of Muncie, Lenape, also known as Soundview in the Bronx. I am the grandson of Duella Smith and Levy Smith. I am the son of Bianca Smith and Michael Washington. I am sitting in a room with a white wall with a light to my left and a print by Kimo Meyer behind me. I'm wearing a black shirt that says Bronx Champion in purple letters, and I'm wearing a hat that is black by J Tips, that is an artist from the Bronx. And I am going to tell you some stories about my life. The first story that I would like to tell you is one of my grandmother, Duella Smith. My grandmother was my first best friend, my first teacher, and she was also my reason for doing everything that I do now. When it comes to a conversation that I just had recently, the thought of generational inspiration came to mind. The people that came before me charged the way for me to create, to believe, to experience anything and everything that I wanted. My grandmother used to sit me in her, her living room with her plastic over her couch. And we used to dance as she cooked. Slow jams like The Temptations, the Christmas album of Motown. And I think that is where I get my inspiration of movement, because for some reason it brings me joy and gives me a connection to her that will never leave my soul or my presence. It is really impossible to not thank my entire family for being my village that has helped me pave a way to be where I am now. My mother, Bianca Smith, is someone that has worked so hard to give me anything and everything that I wanted, but at the same time, helping me understand what dedication, perseverance, and intelligence means to be a Black man. 5, 4, 3, 2. 2 was the age that my mother asked for change. And 2 weeks later, my father was in prison for 16 years. This has definitely changed my entire life. The way that the world is set up to make you feel at times like You have less than everyone else. And as I grew, I realized that I had so much more. My mother never made me feel as if that I was less than anyone. Her friends and her family have kept me connected to them to learn what it is to take the steps in the world, to toe the line, to understand the right and the left side, to be able to be as versatile as possible. And of course, I was raised by all women. I have one male cousin whose name is Tyree, and he taught me all the things that I should know of being a man, that idea of masculinity. I love him so much for teaching me things that I probably should have not learned from a young age. But at the same time, there were things that were necessary. I thank my aunt, Ababach Smith, who taught me about dedication with her perseverance of being a basketball player and a basketball coach, winning awards through her entire life, and teaching me that dedication that I poured into dance. My Aunt Geneva, who is also another music lover, that would never let me leave the house unless I danced with her. And as I got older, I started to understand the idea of commerce and the idea of my talents because I would charge her. If she needed me to dance for her, at the age of, I think about 7, I started charging her $1. By the time I was 10, it became $5. By the time I was 15, because I thought I was too cool for school, it had to be $20 because I wanted a new pair of Jordans or a new pair of fly sweatpants and things like that. And to this day, she now tells me I understand business because of her. To my godmothers, Crystal, Hunter, Charles, and Belinda Robinson. These are the women that held me up and taught me education. Belinda is a school teacher who sat me down and read bell hooks to me at 10. Crystal was my first dance mentor, and she was the reason that I went to my first dance school, which was Broadway Dance Center, that was run by the most amazing man, Frank Hatchett, who became my mentor at 7 years old. Crystal took me to dance class every Saturday. And I sat in the back of the room and watched as these young girls trained in ballet, jazz, and tap. And I would sit there for 3 hours and just watch, enamored by movement, fascinated by the quick steps, and paralyzed by the music that I heard on a daily basis of Bach, Beethoven, and even jazz that came with movement like Fosse. So from a young age, my idea of understanding dance history was already in my grasp. Why do I love to dance? Because for some reason it connects me to all of my family members, from the youngest to the oldest. And that means every time that I dance, I recognize them and I honor them when I walk into the space. I'm currently holding a necklace that was given to me by my mother that tells a poem about saying my son and the love that she has for me, that I know and that I see on a daily basis. Of course, your parents go through these things that they never tell you how they actually feel, but they always tell their friends and their coworkers, and they brag about you 24/7. I feel this every single day. When I would go to my mother's job and pick her up to go to lunch at times because she worked down the street from Gibney at Chambers. And when I would pick her up and I would go upstairs, of course, this is before COVID, I would come upstairs and people were like, oh my God, Maleek, I just saw you in a newspaper. Your mother just showed me your Instagram video. Oh my God, you're doing this. Oh my God, you're doing that. But a couple of hours ago, she was yelling at me because I didn't take out the trash. So this is the balance of life that I've started to learn, that While in one place I am making strides, there is another place where I still need to do work. My family holds me to the highest regards, but also they let me know that I'm still human, that I still have work to do. And because of my mother, I have done so many things that I thought were not possible. Great story to also lead into the moment that I really knew that I wanted to dance was when I joined a company called Abraham in Motion, Kyle Abraham. And this was the first time that I entered a company that was run by a Black man and by Black presence. And it changed my entire life because my fitted hat, my baggy jeans, hoodies did not bother anyone in the room. If anything, it was commemorated and told to express. So creating pieces like Live the Realest MC, performing pieces like The Radio Show, and Pavement, my utmost favorite piece, which also connects me to my friend that is also here and is going to tell her story, Tamisha Guy. When I was able to dance with Tamisha, something clicked. I met this person in high school. I will not say what age because she always tells me it's a different age. So I'm gonna let her tell the story later on. But to see a person that I've known since high school, LaGuardia is where we went, and to see them transform and start a career and then later on dance with them made me really proud because I saw the hard work and the dedication that she had put in from LaGuardia to purchase, to joining the Martha Graham Company, and then to join Kyle. And when we danced together, it felt like home. It felt like the same way that I used to dance with my grandmother in the kitchen. It felt like how I play with my younger sisters. It felt like how I watch my mother dance in the kitchen and she two-steps now. Pavement was a piece that changed my life because it was a piece that I lived. Coming from the Bronx, living across the street from Spofford, which was a juvenile delinquent center, I feared that my life would end up like my father's, imprisoned, in solitude, quiet, with no one else around me. Unfortunately, art was my gateway to not enter that space. Dance was the path that was given to me by a divine entity that told me, go this way, pursue this. And I think, of course, it was my grandmother, Duella, that still guides me to this day to all the places that I should be. So when I met Tamisha and we danced our last dance in Hawaii, I knew that this would be my friend for the rest of my life. So it is always remarkable that I get to share space with her because she is brilliant. She is masterful in her craft, but she is also one of the most humble people that I've ever met. And she has taught me humility in so many ways that I'm always honored to know her, to say her name, and to be in her presence. There's so many people that I could always say give me so much inspiration from my time with Abraham in Motion, Jeremy Neal, Rena Butler, Kyle Abraham, Catherine Kirk, Brittany Brown. And I say their names because even if they're not watching this, they can watch it later and they know that I love them. At one point in time, I had doubts of where I would go, who I would be when I left Abraham in Motion. I had doubts that I wasn't good enough anymore. I had imposter syndrome. Like it was just a fluke that I ended up in that company and nobody else would want me. Again, listen to your parents. My mother sat me down and she explained to me, you have power. You have superpowers. and you need to understand that. One of your powers is that people like you. You are social. You are also an amazing dancer. So why not combine the two? And she was like, and don't be afraid to just go out there and do exactly what you did when you were younger. Dance. That same week, I auditioned for 3 companies: Stephanie Batten Bland, Stephen Petronio, and a show that is called Sleep No More. At that point in time, there were no African-American males in the show, and I became the first. This show showed me so much, and I learned so much when it comes to the craft of immersive theater. My first time working in an off-Broadway show. But soon after, I was struck with an illness of staph infection in my spine that ended me in a hospital for 2 weeks. I couldn't dance for 2 months, and that pain that I felt was something that was unimaginable. But of course, you have great friends like Khalif Auburn, Tamisha Guy, Rena Butler, Marlon Taylor Wiles, that would come and visit me daily and just put their hands on me and show me love. At that time, I created a list of things that I wanted to do, which was my wish list, my manifestations in some sort. And it was things like wanting to choreograph more, wanting to travel more. I wanted to go to Fiji. I wanted to see Australia. And I wanted to join a company that I knew I needed and they needed me. Soon after, maybe a year after that time of being in the hospital, the entire list of manifestations were clicked off, one by one. I traveled to Fiji. I started teaching internationally in Australia. I started choreographing more. I started judging dance competitions, but there was still something missing. And my day that I was going to sign a contract to choreograph my old high school, my alma mater, LaGuardia, I get a phone call from someone that I have loved since the day that I met her in my senior year of high school at LaGuardia when she choreographed on my senior year, Camille A. Brown. Camille called me and she said, I have talked to 5 different choreographers and I asked about someone that could do my work, but also is a great person. Some of these choreographers were Laura Lubavitch, Kyle Abraham, Efrat Ashari, and 2 others. She said, all 5 people said your name. And that was the first time that I felt like I won an award because these were people that I admired and that I saw as I grew up, and they were like history to me. At that time, she offered me a contract to join her company, a company that I've been watching since I was about 13 years old when my mother took me to her show. Now I've been dancing for Camille for almost 6 years. And this woman has put me in so many positions to succeed. When I told my mother that I was offered a contract, she said, you would be stupid not to take it. Again, listen to your parents. This was the best thing that I've ever done in my entire life. This is the company that will put me down in history books as someone that has changed the scope of how we look at theater, dance, and community. This is not just a company. Camille A. Brown and Dancers is a family. Jewel D. Lane, Timothy Edwards, Kat Foster, Usha. They're just all amazing. Beatrice Capote, and all the new members that are now coming in. I thank them every day for letting me lead them in charges at times and for also schooling me on so many things. Maite Natalia would tell me all the time, you are still my little brother, even if you think you are big. Even if your name is in bright lights, you will still be my little brother. And I'm always pleased to learn from them. now being in spaces like the Metropolitan Opera and finishing the most amazing show that I've ever done in my life, Fire Shut Up in My Bones, with the amazing composer, Terrence Blanchard, being the first African-American man to compose at the Metropolitan Opera in 139 years. I think that is too long, but I am happy that they made the charge to make change. For Camille to be the first Black director, while also asking me to be her assistant and also making me dance. That's a lot of work, but I did not mind. Then to also at the same time, right behind it, make me associate choreographer for Porgy and Bess, and to remount it back on stage. This woman has put me in so many places that I do not know where I'm going to go next. But my career is very bright because she thinks she knows where she thinks I might go, but I don't even know that.
Oh my gosh. Wow, what a fabulous story. I think I learned a lot, Malik.
I hope so.
And I thought I nuded you, but I didn't know it as much as I thought I nuded. What? Thank you, darling.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Guess what it's time for?
Tamisha Guy.
Tamisha Guy. The crowd roars. Tamisha Guy. Tamisha Guy. Come on in, Tamisha. Hey, everybody. Hi, Tamisha.
Hello.
I'm my camera's gonna come on in 1 second, but I just want to say hi, and tell y'all about some folks that are here watching. Your friends are here, and forgive me if I do not say your name right, but Ariana Rodriguez, you gonna bring my camera on, pretty please, to share with the people. Ariana Rodriguez, Lamar Smith,
Hey.
Tony Turner, you're there too. Yvonne Curry, Keisha Smith, Jamar Smith, and I think I'm going to say this right, Joran, Jorane, Jorane, I think. But y'all got friends. Cheers. Cheers,
Cheers.
Tamisha.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Now I'm going to go. And I usually say behave yourselves. And I think I really need to say it in caps this time. In caps this time. But I don't think that's going to happen. Have a good time. I see you in a little bit.
See you soon. Hi, Leeks.
Hi, friend.
Your story was so inspiring. So beautiful. It's getting
You know, I
emotional.
love you.
I love you.
Oh, man.
I was. I said, don't do it. Don't do it to me.
Dude.
Yeah. I feel like I learned a lot too. Like, I feel like I know your story, like very in depth, but it was just told to us so beautifully and eloquently. So it was pulling me in, felt like a monologue almost.
Right?
So thank you. Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
And the story about knowing me in high school. We always go back here. But I guess we can clear it up for the people.
Let's clear it up. Let's see.
I went to LaGuardia High School, same high school as Malik. Malik was a senior, I believe, when I was a freshman. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So as a freshman, I didn't talk to the seniors, right? I was in my freshman bubble. And of course, I was, associated with some people who may have spoken to the seniors. But Malik and I didn't know each other. I would say that we got to know each other once I graduated from LaGuardia High School. That's just how I see it.
I do not see it that way. Because you used to hang out with my little sister, which is Simona Lloyd. So I did see you often. We might not have conversed, but I definitely saw you.
Sure.
And as a senior at LaGuardia, we always watch the freshmen because we want to see the new talent that comes in, and you try to gauge who's going to be that kid that's going to be the star one day, you know? And I couldn't tell, but for some reason I saw this little girl and I was just like, ah, who are you chilling with, Simona? Simona, who that girl? I'm like, she's like, oh, that's Tamisha. She from, she from Brooklyn, she from the islands. I was like, all right, okay. So she in roti and, she got
Okay.
curry goat. Okay. So, but then even to leave school and then, we come back at times to watch everyone perform. And yeah, I saw the light early on,
Oh, thank you.
especially in your senior year concert. I was like, what's going on here? Wait, what's up?
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that. Okay. We didn't converse, but maybe we shared a
We
moment.
had to share space. Come
For
on, it's
sure.
the 8th floor. It's only
For
4
sure.
studios.
Yeah, for sure. And I do remember like seniors watching class a lot. So I can definitely agree with that sentiment.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. I feel like I also want to talk about dancing with you in AIM and how incredible that was. And I think you said it so beautifully, speaking to how you felt dancing with me, but I would agree. It definitely felt like home. It felt familiar. I felt safe and protected and loved even. And I feel like at that moment when we were touring Pavement, we hadn't known each other like personally very well.
Right.
But something definitely clicked. And I think I remember vividly, we went on a tour to Sweden and we were in Stockholm. And I believe we went to dinner together, like just one evening. And we talked like for a really long time. And we had a really like deep conversation just about life and our upbringing. And I think in that moment is when I realized that you would be a part of my life for a very long time or forever. Just because of the nature of the conversation, the care that was there, the love that was so clearly there for a Black woman. And I think is a conversation that I'll never forget. And I don't even know if I even shared that with you, but it was definitely a moment that is cemented in my mind and my heart. So thank you.
Which is crazy because I just saw that picture of us the other day. And that's usually the one that I always post for your birthday.
Yes.
And it's when me and you went shopping at that vintage store.
Yes.
And I bought that jean jacket with the little red thing on the top and that blue hat. I did. And I remember just walking the city with you for hours. And we just went anywhere. We just walked and we talked. And it felt like minutes while other people were doing other things. And me and you would just kick it. And then after that, that was it. We would just kick it here and there on tour. We were just like, what you want to go do? Let's go find food. Let's go bowling somewhere. Remember Thanksgiving?
That was so fun. In Kunstbaka.
In Kunstbaka.
Yes. That was amazing. And it was my first Thanksgiving, I think, outside of New York. And, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Sweden, but this restaurant made a special dinner for us and it was kind of amazing. Like they tried to
duck.
We did.
We had duck, not turkey.
Yeah. But it was really good. And there was like pumpkin, there was bread. I remember like there being like a really like sort of illustrious spread that I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. I could spend Thanksgiving outside of New York, maybe.
Well, that's also Kyle, because Kyle, he'll screw something up. So it was definitely all galore.
Yes.
And
he said,
that was an amazing moment. For sure, an amazing moment. I think that's when I really sat in and realized like this was my family as well. So spending Thanksgiving with all of you made sense. It didn't feel like I was away from my family, but I was actually with my family. And, me and you always took pictures together. Like, and I don't really want to take pictures all the time. but I do. But
We
I'll always
did.
take pictures with you.
And I love that I have those images now to sort of look back on. And it's so
Mm,
interesting because now, like, continuing to tour and like be amongst a new group, I'm trying to like get back to that. Like, I want to
yeah,
take new pictures. I want to remember
right.
these moments and, cherish them. So I'm happy we have those
Oh, we're gonna
images.
make so many more too. That's
Can't
the other
wait.
thing.
I can't wait.
I can't
Yeah.
either. It's such an amazing time to also watch you grow into your own light and something about you. I think this is why I also love you because you remind me of Camille so much because I say this about her. She's one of those people that instead of taking all of the spotlight, she'll ask for you to open up the spotlight to share the light with the people that are next to them because they are also amazing as well. And you do that for all of your friends. If they're dancers or not, you share your light with everyone. And it's one of the reasons why anytime I say your name, they're like, oh, she's so amazing.
Oh, you're
Oh, she's
nice.
the most beautiful dancer ever. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's my sister. So
You're so funny. Well, thank you. I truly appreciate that. And there's a lot of people that are around me that can definitely say that I share the same sentiment about you and how you sort of navigate the world. Um, and I feel like I continue to learn so much from you. Um, when we talk, when you sort of randomly call me to ask me if I'm okay, and those conversations, they really mean the world. And I speak about you very highly, very, very highly. And I always say you're one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. So I'm just grateful to have your friendship, your support, your love, all of it. Yeah.
always and forever.
Yeah.
Team tag. I was like the first team tag. Okay, I was first team tag. Do you remember Hawaii?
I do. I
You
do.
literally said you wanted to start doing fitness training
Mhm,
and
mhm,
photos, and you were like, "Can you take pictures of me?" And I was like,
mhm.
"Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
go." And I
Yeah.
took all those pictures. Was it
Yes.
orange? Like your orange little jumpsuit or
Oh, it was
something?
in pink and
It
brown
was
or
pink.
something, or pink or blue, pink and blue.
And now look at you, team tag all day. So I'm gonna always be team
I
tag.
love that, and I
Number
actually
one
remember
fan.
that moment.
Uh,
Yes.
uh, 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 I'm interrupting. Team tag. I want to be a part of the team tag. Come
Yes.
on.
Come on.
It's a love fest up in here.
Yes.
Tamisha. Okay, so Cameron McKinney is here. Someone that is Move with Ray is here too. And Harlem School of the Arts say Harlem School of the
Hey,
Arts in the house. Come on, friends. All right, Malik. It's time for you to go for a little bit.
bye bye.
And we're gonna listen to Tamisha. Welcome, lovely.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself. They're all waiting to hear all the things, all the
Of
things.
course. So my name is Tamisha Guy. I'm a non-disabled Afro-Caribbean woman from Trinidad. My pronouns are she, her. I am a dancer, dance instructor, fitness model based in Brooklyn, New York. I'm currently zooming in from the Muncie Lenape land, known as East New York, Brooklyn. I am sitting in front of a mint green wall. I'm wearing a black turtleneck, black sweatpants, and a royal blue head wrap with gold hoops. I am incredibly excited to be here today and to share a little bit about myself and my story. And I often don't talk about myself. So this is going to be a challenge, but I am up for the challenge. And I also have my handy dandy notebook, so I stay on track. Um, so story time. So I can go a little further back, just talking about my journey to the United States with my family. I moved to New York, Brooklyn, New York in 1998 when I was 8 years old with my mother, Claudia Guy, and my brother, Tishan Guy. And at first sight, I wanted to return to Trinidad. I believe we came in the winter time, so it was cold, and I hadn't experienced winter before, so it was new to me. I had to wear a jacket, and I was just used to, wearing my tank top, short sleeve shirt, shorts. So it was definitely a culture shock in that sense. And as I realized that I had to stay in the US long term, I sort of decided to give New York City a chance. And I'm so grateful that I did. And ultimately, I feel like I didn't have a choice, right? Because my family made the choice to move to New York. So I was here to stay. And talking a bit more about why my family wanted to move to New York. So I'd always wondered why my mom made the decision to move to New York. And a few months ago, I asked her the question. And prior to that, I'd asked her before, but she'd given me a different answer, and I'll share both with you. So the first answer was she wanted to achieve or experience the American dream. And as Caribbean people, we'd always believe that New York City or America was where you could have an easier or full life. And I believe it's not true, right? But I think that that's sort of how we were conditioned to believe that going outside of our community, going outside of our culture would be better and more beneficial to us. And I asked her recently the same question. Why did you choose to relocate to New York? And her answer was simple. She wanted to further her education, right? She wanted to come to New York to study. And it was easier to transition to New York to get an education versus staying in Trinidad and doing so. Because the college in Trinidad at the time, you had to pay to go to the school. And now, luckily, the college is free. So she made the decision to move her two children to New York to get an education. And that response really touched me because I believe that with my mom pursuing her dream, it allowed me to have the will to dream myself. So it's something that I'm incredibly gracious to her for. And talking about my mom, right? It's a challenge because I always get emotional. I'm just so grateful to her for her strength, for her commitment, her determination, her perseverance, her hard work. And I believe those traits are what she passed on to me. So talking about her support it definitely gets me emotional because it's something that I hold so dear to me. And my mom, if you meet her, if you've shared space with her, she's very quiet. And she is a woman of few words, but the love is there. And I feel like her presence is also so strong that she often doesn't need to say anything. And I can recall her coming to my dance performances and seeing her after, and she would just look at me, give me a hug, and that would sometimes be it. And I would see my friends around her just like talking about me, and she would just look at them and she would be beaming. And I think that's something that I enjoy looking forward to after performances, just seeing her beaming and being so proud and excited for me. So going a little back to my story and my journey to dance. So moving with my family to the US, I hadn't had any sort of dance training prior to that, aside from social dancing with family and friends. But luckily I went to a middle school, PS 268 in Brooklyn. And the school had an affiliation with Ballet Tech, the New York City Public School for Dance. They would go into public schools and they would assess students. They might put you in a first position. They might ask you to do certain, ballet sort of fundamental steps. And from there, they would invite a few students to go to their facility 2 days a week to take a ballet class. So I started doing that, and at first it was an opportunity for me to leave school 2 days a week just to do something fun and to do something aside from work. But I decided to, and I feel something clicked with those experiences. I enjoyed the challenge of ballet. I enjoyed the physical challenge of the technique, and I kept going back. And my senior year, I would say senior year, 5th grade at PS 268, I was offered a position at Ballet Tech to continue training. And at that time, I didn't know if I wanted to keep dancing, but I knew that I didn't want to go to the same school as the other students. I don't know why. So my mom, I remember her looking to me and she asked me, do you want to dance? And I said, yes. And I went to Ballet Tech, and I feel like the rest is history in a sense, right? Because from there is when I realized that dance needed to be a part of my life. At that young age, I knew that already. And from Ballet Tech, I went to LaGuardia High School, where I was able to study more contemporary dance styles. And I think there is when I realized that there was so much more that I needed to learn and that I could learn through this art form. And from there, I went to SUNY Purchase College, further my studies. And before I went to SUNY Purchase, I took a year off after high school. And I took a year off because I kept hearing sort of the chatter of dance not being a lucrative art form. And it's going to be hard, you're going to struggle, you're going to be a struggling artist, and just kept hearing that sort of language. And it deterred me a little bit. So I took a year off after high school, and I went to a community college, Medgar Evers College, actually where my mom also studied. And I solely focused on academics. I decided to not dance for a full year. I didn't go to a dance performance. I didn't go to any dance classes. I don't even believe I associated with dancers per se. And after that year, I was miserable, to say the least. I missed being around colleagues. I missed wearing dance clothes. I missed being sweaty. And after that year, I decided to audition for SUNY Purchase College and Fordham University. And I made the choice to go to SUNY Purchase. And I often say that was one of the best decisions I've made in my life thus far. I think being at that school and sort of being away from the city helped me just really sort of hone in on my craft. And after that year off, I knew that I was going to dance and to make this career work for me. I no longer thought about dance not being lucrative because I knew that I would make it. I knew that I would be successful. And I started speaking life into myself in that way, telling myself that I was worthy, that I was capable, that I would not be a starving artist. And I went to Purchase, gathered all of the information I could there, from the amazing teachers and students. And from there, I danced with the Martha Graham Dance Company. And short story about how that happened. So my junior year at SUNY Purchase, my Graham teacher, Stephanie Tuman, she encouraged me to audition for the Graham Company. And I hadn't sort of thought about auditioning for the company, but with her support and sort of her push, I decided to audition. And I made it very far. I made it to the end of the audition, and I had a conversation with the artistic director, Janet Elber, and I shared with her that I didn't want to leave school per se for a dance opportunity because my dance education, my education period was important to me and my family. So I wanted to continue. And I also think it wasn't the right fit, I would say, at that time for me to join the company. So senior year, I went back to Purchase, went into my senior year. Maybe 2 or 3 months before I graduated from Purchase, my Graham teacher, Stephanie Tuman, received an email from Janet Elber, sort of asking what I was up to. And at that point, I was still in school, not auditioning. I don't know why. I don't know why I wasn't auditioning, but maybe somehow I was leaning into divine timing and knew something was going to happen. But she put me in contact with Janet Elber, and I joined the Martha Graham Dance Company as an apprentice in June of 2013. So 1 month after graduating from SUNY Purchase. And it was a joy to dance in that company. I learned so much about myself as an artist and a lot about sort of how company life functions, right? So it's an opportunity that I will forever be sort of grateful for. And I'm excited till this day sort of to think about how it definitely set me up and prepared me to lead my life as an artist in this beautiful craft. Flash forward to joining AIM. So where I'm currently still a member. So while dancing with the Martha Graham Dance Company, usually dancers have a layoff period. Being a new dancer, I had no idea sort of what that period would entail, what I would be doing during that period. And Kyle and I would see him around sometimes and just smile at him or say hello. And he actually set a senior solo on one of my best friends, Christopher Hernandez. And Kyle came to view our senior show. And after the show, he sent me a really kind Facebook Messenger message at the time. And that's sort of where the correspondence ended. But during that 3-month layoff period, I received an email, I believe, from Kyle's company manager at the time, asking if I was available to go with the company on a residency at Jacob's Pillow. And I wasn't up to anything. So I went on the residency. And I like to say I never left. I tried for some time to dance with both companies, both the Graham Company and with AIM. And it just became too much for one person. So I made the choice to join Kyle's company full time. And I've been in the company for 8 years now. I know. Some days it feels as if it's only been a year, and some days I feel as if I've definitely spent some time here. It's been a fulfilling experience. I've learned a tremendous amount from Kyle personally, and just I've learned so much about myself as a human being and as an artist within his company. I've been very fortunate to join him on a number of commissions with 2 Dance and with the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. And I just am so in awe of Kyle and all that he's accomplished. And I've been grateful to sort of be on that journey with him as he just continues to grow and flourish. And I often say that the reason why I'm still in the company after 8 years is not only because we work so collaboratively, but because we're often asked about what we're interested in making. And I think that's really important as an artist. And if you're fortunate to sort of be in a company that functions in that way, it's a gift, right? And I can see myself sort of continuing to grow here. And I know, of course, there'll be a day when, I move forward, but I've been so grateful for just Kyle's grace, for his commitment to his work, and for his love of his company, and keeping us sort of working and making, I think, is something that he truly believes in pushing. And I'm just grateful to be on this journey with him. Dancing with Maleek. So I'm going to talk about Malik because he talked about me. And I love my brother so much, and I can't let an opportunity pass without sharing some words about him. And he shared already that we toured Pavement together. We toured the world together, performing Pavement. And we performed a really intimate duet together. And I just remember I shared with him already feeling so cared for and loved in this duet. And, you know, as artists, we're known to be actors as well. But I think there was this pureness that was there when we performed together. That is something I try to remember, hold on to as I sort of move in my, you know, career and navigate different pieces or even different partnerships with other people, trying to sort of get back to that pureness. I think that I experienced with Malik was truly special. I thank you, Malik, for your love, for your support, for your generosity, for being the best big brother a girl can have, for always looking out for me. I know there is without a doubt in rooms that you're in, that you're lifting me up, that you're supporting me, that you're talking about me. And I want you to know that I'm doing the same. You're truly one of a kind, and I love you so much. And my voice is getting shaky because I get so passionate and so emotional when I'm talking about the people I love. So thank you, Malik. More about that starving artist idea. So I want to talk about that a little bit because it had such an impact on me, and I want to sort of be the change, right? So during the pandemic, I started thinking about financial literacy a lot more. And I think growing up in my household, my mom being an accountant and sort of being incredible at math and budgeting and finances, I just learned so much from observing her and decided to, you know, mirror some of her habits as well. So during the pandemic, I started thinking even more about how I can translate the language that I learned from my mom and share it with the dance community at large. And I started thinking about a financial literacy program. And what I'm thinking of, and it's definitely a work in progress, but what I'm thinking of is creating a program where I share information about taxes, investing, and budgeting with artists. And I'm hoping that this program can be free of charge because I believe the information should just be shared with our community, right? I want dancers to feel confident stepping into this community. I want us to not have the worry or fear of not being able to live, right? Because I think as artists, our focus should be on our work and creating and exploring, investing, all of those things. And if we're focused on how we're going to survive, that sort of takes away from our art. So I'm working on this program and I'm sharing it now. So I'm holding myself to it. And I'm hoping to share it within the next year and a half. And I just look forward to how it's going to help my community. And this community has given me so much, and I'm looking forward to sort of giving back in this way. There's a lot of other things that I want to sort of create and share with this in the dance community, but in the arts at large. And I hope that this start will sort of propel all of those other things to take off.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah, speaking it into existence. I'm holding myself accountable in this moment.
It's time to bring somebody else back. And I think
Yes.
that somebody else is also going to make you accountable.
I love it.
Malik, come on, tell her. Tell her, Malik.
Wow. I'm always inspired by you, sis. It's crazy, man. I didn't even know you took a year off of school. Like you
Right?
told me you learning things. And honestly, I've met your mother multiple times, you know, and your mom is like light as well. She's funny, she's beautiful, and she loves you. She adores you so much. So it's just really nice to hear you talk because I know you, but I know you don't like talking about yourself. That's why I said she's one of the most humble people in the world. So to hear
But
you
did
share,
both of you know that you have your moms so high up on the pedestal?
for
Do you
sure.
talk about this all the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do your
That's-
moms talk together?
No, they haven't met
They
actually.
haven't.
No.
That would be kind of cool though. That we should do
It
a
would
group
be.
dinner.
Yes, I would love that.
That would be
We're
And
great.
gonna
then
hold each
you'll
other to it.
say, and then you'll say Black Dance Stories helped to make that happen.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Mom.
Yeah.
Damn. Especially also the things that you're talking about of financial literacy and you know, I say financial literacy, but my idea is like I'm a hustler. So my dad was a hustler. I think that's the thing that I pulled from his, you know, generational inspiration of his family doing that. They hustled in their own way. I hustle and dance. But to hear Tamisha talk about wanting to share this information with the youth and with the dance community in a broader scope shows you exactly who the person that she is. She will not hold the information for herself. If she thinks that it's important, she will let everyone know.
Look who's talking.
Thanks. I know. I know. I I know. Yeah. And that's also, I think, why we work. Leaks.
Aw. That was the other thing I wrote down. Friendship. Boy, do you two speak highly of each other.
Yeah.
I've been reading, so I always like to share what I've been reading recently, so people know where my brain is at. So of course I have Will.
Yeah. I have to get that.
I'm on chapter 3 right now, which is called Performance. And
Wait, the
then,
author. You have to say the author.
oh, sorry, Will, and with Mark Manson. And then I'm also reading The Sun Does Shine, How I Found Freedom on Death Row by Anthony Ray Hinton.
I just saw that book.
And this is the same man that was locked up for 30 years and he was actually innocent. And it was what Just Mercy was based on. In both of these books, they both explain how their best friends, people that they met when they were younger, remained their friends for multiple years and were those people that stood by them through thick and thin when they were said that, you know, someone was sentenced to death row and another person was the goofiest person in the world and no one believed that he would be a superstar. Tamisha Guy would be the person that would write in a book that is her and Rena Butler. Like those two, I always tell them, I write them all the time and I just be like, y'all two gonna get me through everything. And the craziest thing is I did that duet that Tamisha was talking about with her and Rena. And now they're both my best friends. How?
How?
It was destined that way. It truly was. Yeah. I just feel grateful for this
Oh,
one.
you got your
I
beer.
truly do.
You got your beer.
Oh,
Okay,
you
wait, cheers.
switched it up.
Cheers again.
You know, she came at me.
Cheers. I'm still with my
Cheers.
green juice.
There you
It's all
go.
It
good.
says joy on the cup. I don't know if you can see it.
Ooh, joy.
Always choose joy.
Mhm.
Hey, both of you talked about social dancing with the family.
Mhm.
You know how in our tradition,
Mhm.
there's the stage has always been the kitchen,
Right.
the living room.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing that up, but lift that up again for those people who weren't here at the top of the show and tell them about
Yeah.
who you danced with. And Malik, we're not going to talk about how you made money off of your aunt.
My auntie, come on, man. I knew I
Wow.
was a young
Yeah.
hustler.
Hustler. Go ahead, Tamisha.
Yeah.
Tell them who you dance with.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
like-
social dancing was a huge part of my culture. Being from Trinidad, we would have sort of like kids parties, or we would go to events like carnival and just have a good time, right? Dancing was celebrated. So it was something that I enjoyed as a young child. And I danced with my mom, I danced with my cousins, my friends, my childhood best friend, who I'm still friends with till this day. I have vivid memories of us just sort of laughing and we say walking up, walking up. So it's, yeah, those memories are so special. And I often go back to that place when I feel as if I'm taking dance a little too seriously. I remind myself it should be fun. I should enjoy this thing, that I'm so
Absolutely.
passionate about. So grateful to be a part of a rich culture such as the one from the Caribbean.
Come
That's
on.
Yeah.
Just say, wait, is there any Caribbean in you, Malik?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting that
Wait, Tamisha, is this, I'm not asking you, Malik. Tamisha, is there really in him?
There is.
Okay.
I would agree.
I shut him down.
I got your back. I got you.
Thank you, friend.
All right, because you charged your auntie.
I did have to charge her. You should have seen how many times she would ask, though. She was like, okay, let's get another dance. I'm like, come on, sis. I'm like, all right, I got to start charging you. And then my family was like, charge her. How much you going to charge? I was like, $1 a dance. And that's at 7. So by the time I got older, I started realizing, oh, a tendu could be like $5. Ooh, a plie could be $10. A whole solo is, ooh, we here.
Wait, Tamisha, you see, this is that financial literacy thing.
See?
Exactly.
All right, Mr.
And-
Caribbean.
Okay, so first I would dance with my grandmother because she was, my grandfather was a tap dancer and a drummer. So music was always played in our house. My grandmother lived in Brownsville. She was a peer mediator at the school that she worked at. So she used me as like her guinea pig most of the time. And she wanted to see if dance would be one of those things that could calm a kid down and things like that. So she would always like, let's just play some music and let's just dance. Tell me how you feel when you're dancing. So now that I teach, it's like the same thing. I want to feel that same essence of feeling free while moving. Then I have a very large family, including my aunties and my mom's best friend, who I call Aunt Pat. My Aunt Pat has known my mother since they were about 9 years old. And Aunt Pat is Jamaican. So I spent every weekend from the day I was born with Aunt Pat. My mother, that was still working, she was a single mom. She needed weekends off just to have some time to herself to do what she needed to do. She was still in her 20s, 26, 27. She still wanted to just, have a free life and things like that. So I spent the weekends with my Aunt Pat. What was I listening to? Soca music. I was listening to reggae. And then we sitting in the house, then they trying to teach me patois. And I'm like, oh man, all the things. I'm eating roti, curry goat. And I'm like, oh snap. So I thought for years I was Jamaican as well. I'm doing Pond River, Pond Bank, all the things. And now, seriously. And I love them because they were also, being in a single parent home, I got to feel what the family connection was, having a mom and a dad and sisters. My godmother was only 9 years older than me. That's Crystal, who took me to the dance classes. I danced with Crystal every weekend. She took her class, I took mine. Then Pat had another daughter who's Carissa. And then I started dancing with Carissa and trying to teach her how to dance. She had horrible feet, had no extension. My first time that I ever choreographed for a school was at Carissa's high school in Atlanta. So my family literally connected me to all of the steps that I wanted to do in my career. And I'm always grateful for all of them.
So we have one question from Tony Turner. Seriously, Tony Turner? He said, what is Kungsbacka?
Ooh.
Kungsbacka is a city in Sweden.
Yes.
And there's your answer. Wait, where did you all perform? Did you perform in Kungsbacka? Or did you
Yeah.
get to travel a
did.
little
We
bit?
did.
We did. I don't
We,
remember the theater, but we performed there.
we
No
performed
Stockholm?
we did Stockholm at Dansenhus,
Mhm.
Dance and who's?
and then we also did Falkenberg,
Yes. And
Kunzbaka,
Bara.
and Bara.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Mhm.
was actually a
Good job.
really cool trip
Mhm.
because that was the first. We also went to go see Gothenburg and we took class
Yeah.
with them. And at the time, Nigel Campbell was still dancing for Gothenburg Opera House. And he got us in to take class and we got to see what it was like to dance in an opera house where you were the main dance company. And, it kind of started tinkering the head of like, would I want to leave the company? Would I want to do something like this as well and dance in Europe? And it never like it was an amazing thing, but then right after that Nigel was like, hey, I think I'm coming home because it's time. So these are always questions that me and Tamisha have always had as well of, do we leave New York? The same as Tamisha was talking earlier of like
Mhm.
her mother leaving where she's from in her community to start something new. Would I want to do that? Would we want to do that as New Yorkers and leave to go somewhere else far away from our families? And I don't think I can do it. I can't leave my mom and my family. I need to stay close.
Tamisha?
Yeah. I have definitely entertained the idea of moving abroad. I have a strong desire to move to Europe, and I think it's a dream that I want to see through. So I think at some point I'll definitely move to Europe, not too far. And I always, you heard it here, and I always think of it as, an opportunity for my family to come visit me, right? It's a vacation spot. You have an excuse to travel to Europe now. So it's not as if I'm moving away from you. You're always welcomed wherever I am.
That's also because weren't you voted like best dancer in Europe in like 2018 or 19 or something like that? Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Huh? Huh? Okay. She doesn't
Yes.
like
Here
telling you
you
about
go.
her accolades,
Humble.
but I'm
Yes.
that friend.
Yeah.
I'm that
Okay.
friend. You
You
see, when
truly
I see
are.
Tamisha, I'm like, Princess, yes, I bow to you. Princess Grace,
Oh man.
I am not worthy. I am not.
Hey, I remember traveling and always bringing something back.
Always.
Do you have a something,
Mhm.
something that's really special that you brought back?
Actually, from that tour, that same jacket and hat that I was telling Tamisha about is still two of my favorite grabs from tour. Like it was things that I wouldn't see in the States. And it kind of like from that on, I started changing up my style to like start buying things that were more creative. And I wanted pieces instead of like trinkets. I wanted pieces that I could hold on to. So if people saw me with it, they were like, where'd you get that from? And I know they couldn't get it in America. So I was like, oh, I'm the flyest dude out here. Nah, this from Kunzbaka, bro. What you know about that?
Yes, I think for me, I usually bring like trinkets for my family and friends.
Yeah.
So it's something usually that's handmade, or it might be a keychain or something like that. And for myself, I feel I don't really shop a lot for myself, which I've started realizing more and more lately. I was like, maybe I should start doing that more. But now on tour, I try to go to like different vintage stores or thrift stores and pick up maybe like a cool piece of something. And it's usually jewelry because I like to wear jewelry a lot. Maybe like cool earrings or something. Yeah.
Yes, cool earrings.
Mhm.
Hey, it's almost time to go, believe it or not.
Okay.
But I'm winding down. But both of you, I love the similarities that always come to the top with Black dance stories. But both of you chose, Tamisha chose, Malik didn't necessarily choose, but had a little break from this thing we call dance. And then you realize, Tamisha said, dance needed to be in my life.
Mm,
And Malik said, art was a gateway.
mm.
Can you look back, way back, because you're still so young, but way back to then? And what would you say to that person now when you decided, before you decided to put your toes back in, and then after, since you've been here for so long? 8 years, you said, Tamisha?
Yes.
Mhm.
6
Yeah.
years, Malik?
Mhm.
Mm. I
I
think
I
what
would
I would.
say,
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
look at that. We said it at
That
the
was
same
fabulous.
exact time. I think what I would say to the young woman that was thinking about taking a break and then thinking about pursuing a career in the arts full time is all will be well. And I think what I continue to say to myself now is look at you. You doing the thing. You doing the thing. And that I'm worthy
mm,
of the career that I
mm,
see for myself.
mm-hmm. Yep, you are. You totally are. To the fullest, sis. What I would tell myself then, like when I was injured, Duella got your back. Like my grandmother definitely saw me through that whole experience. I had so many conversations with her when I was talking to God and like literally felt like my deathbed. Tamisha called, she came and saw me in the hospital. I lost like 60 pounds. I wasn't even the same person. Yeah, I was sick, like sick. And after, I would say, keep doing the work. I think that's one of my greatest superpowers, as Camille would say, is that I do not focus on all of the victories. I focus on the work that I must do to get to the next victory.
Ooh, drop the mic. Drop the mic. Uh, it's time for Kimani and Maki to come back, but we want to bring in Denise Saunders Thompson because the reason why you all are here is because Denise is the bomb diggity, of course. And Denise said, hey, let's do this thing. And this is the kickoff for a fantabulous weekend that's happening. Denise, introduce yourself.
Look at
And
the
then welcome
hat.
back, Maki and Kimani.
Look at the hat.
I,
Woo! Denise.
come on, turn to the side, Denise. Come on with yourself. Oh, God.
Woo!
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
It's so good to see you all. This has just been a really wonderful conversation. And Tamisha and Malik, thank you so much. Yeah, your stories, your just outpouring of just who you are, the craft. Thank you. Thank you for sharing such deep personal insights about you, what you've experienced, your relationship. Like, thank you. It's been really just a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And I feel like I'm sitting in the living room, down on the floor, just the insight has been really great. But I'm Denise Saunders Thompson, and I'm president and CEO of the International Association of Blacks in Dance, and excited to have this opportunity to engage once again with our favorite people, Black Dance Stories, Charmaine Warren and her amazing team, Kimani, Makita, Cynthia, the other Makita. There's somebody else I'm missing. There's two more people, but this group of amazing Black people. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for answering the call. We really couldn't think of another way, and this is really the best way to kick off our weekend. This is our first event that is in person as well as virtual. As many of you know, we have not had our annual conference and festival now. This is year number 2. So we're kind of dipping our toes back into the water safely and with love, with care, and with our people. And also a new partner right in New York City. So we're excited to be back for Evolve New York. It is a dance summit. We will have 16 dance classes over a 3-day period. And these two amazing people right here, catch them in the space, in the place. Get your classes. They are available and on sale right now. We will be following all COVID rules and regulations for steps. So you'll need to register. You'll need to make sure that you present all of your documentation to participate in the class. But we need this. We have been away from each other far too long. And I'm really looking forward to being in the space with all of you, and can't wait to be in New York. I hop on the train tomorrow morning early and land in New York around 10:30 in the morning, and I'll be there for the whole weekend. So I hope I will see all of you in person. Hugs, kisses. Please, I hope you can join us again in New York City for Evolve. And just one other quick note, IBD is just really, really thankful for the partnership and for the collaboration with Black Dance Stories. I really have to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for all that you continue to do for our community. The stories, they highlight us, they amplify us, they give us joy, they give us hope, they give us laughter during these times. They also give us insight. We share the pain, but also all of the wonderful, wonderful work and the creativity that has come from this program and the connection of our people together. So Charmaine and the team, really, thank you so much. Thank you for doing the work that you do. Really appreciate you all.
You
Oh,
always
the Love Fest.
Woo! Denise always knows how to say it. Ooh,
Come on.
you, Denise.
The Love Fest. When are you teaching, Tamisha? And when are you teaching, Malik? Uh-oh, look,
I
look. See,
don't
I put
believe
you.
I'm teaching, but I'm going to be in Malik's class.
We should have asked you to teach. Omar, if you're out there, and I know he is.
Yes, I think there may have been a message, but I'm leaving town, but I will be virtual getting into a lot of the classes. So yeah, I look forward to
All
it.
right. We'll be
And
in the
I
place with Malik, because I
teach.
know he got to get down in his
You know,
class.
I'm teaching because now she gonna be on Zoom. Now I gotta go off, right?
Exactly.
Because the princess is there.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, I might have to join too. Come on now.
Come on, Charmaine, bring your behind on. Let's
Come
go.
on now. See what you done started again, Denise Saunders Thompson, IABD in the house.
House. Make sure you come
All
through.
right.
My class is on Saturday at 4:15. Please come by. Bring all of your soul, bring all of your creativity. We like to have fun in my class, and it's always about your artistry, not the idea of getting the perfect combination, but to bring you to the forefront.
Yes, Malik, you better preach. What?
Yeah.
And I don't know if your team, Denise, is on the chat, but if in the YouTube chat, please put the link in. It's on the BDS things, right? I don't know.
It should be
Yes,
on.
yes,
Yeah.
and they are actually in the
Socials.
chat, so it'll get dropped in the chat. But even
Yes.
if not, it's iabdassociation.org/evolve, and you'll go right there. And if you come right to the homepage, right there in the banner, you'll see it. Just click on Evolve, and it'll bring you right to the event page.
It's 7:29. I'm going to turn it to you, Maki, and then we'll all say goodbye in a little bit. But don't go anywhere, everybody else, because we have to do our fabulous goodbye.
Yes. Oh man, a huge thanks to everyone who's tuning in. I know that y'all are gonna leave this conversation with so much soul food. A quick reminder again to like and comment and share this video with your community. Follow us on the socials. All of the links are in the description box of this video. So you'll be in tune with all the things that we're doing and brewing as we continue to shape shift. A special lookout for our newest addition to Black Dance Stories, which is BDS, the Young Professional Experience Power Half Hour that I am hosting. I have been hosting. Black Dance Stories is holding space for voices, stories, and conversations of young professional artists, dance artists. It is a 30-minute Instagram live with one featured dance artist. It has been every last Monday of the month at 12 p.m. Eastern time since October. And this month's featured dance artist is Courtney Taylor Key. So if you have Instagram, we hope to see you there. Once again, thank you for the continual love and support. I pass it to Mama Shameen.
Stay involved, my friends, our families. Stay involved, y'all. Cheers. Keep love. Keep hope alive. Keep the love alive. And go on out there, get into that Evolve class for sure. And into some good trouble.
I was waiting for it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.